he's hilarious. Like, it's kind of like, wow, like, are you really this funny? Like, did you write this down kind of funny? You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't even, I don't know, he don't have to think about it. It's just natural for him, you know what I'm saying? It's amazing.
They're the best. So I got a chance to sit back and learn from the best, which is Jamie Foxx and Eddie Murphy.
Anybody can be funny, but the material, what you put behind it, is what actually takes them to the next level.
Because, I mean, look, Jamie Foxx is, you know, Jamie knows how to party.
Palm Springs, thank you. Thank you.
Second row,
My friends was like, man, you working with Quentin Tarantino? What is the discussion? Quentin, Leonardo, Samuel Jackson, it was like, it's just amazing. It's just so humble. Years from now, she'll be talking to her friend and said, me and my dad one night had a great time. Life-changing musical moment was meeting Kanye West. He came to a house party.
My father, years ago, was put in jail for $25 worth of illegal substance. They put him in jail for 7 years.
Jamie Foxx, one of the most coveted entertainers of our generation. Comedian, actor, and musician, Foxx truly is a modern-day triple threat. And it wasn't long before these talents were noticed. But things weren't always red carpets and designer tuxedos for the veteran actor. Born Eric Marlon Bishop, Jamie Foxx didn't have the easiest start to life. Shortly after birth, Foxx was adopted by his grandparents, Estelle Marie Nelson and George Dixon, who would both go on to play big roles in Jamie's life. Being a young black man living in Terrell, Texas, Foxx saw his fair share of racism. Growing up in a racially segregated part of Terrell, where the effects of Jim Crow were still felt.
You're not a Texan if you're not for segregation. And you can't stand there and say you're a Texan if you're not for segregation. And I didn't see a lot of you people joining my march. I appreciate the fact that some of you is dead, and I like that very, very much. We do have some people around here that's got a little backbone in them. And I'm going to tell you, if your grandfathers and your daddies was around, they had what it took. They would stand up for what they thought was right. Do you plan any more demonstrations like this? Yes, sir. When all the colored people are demonstrating for integration, I will, with my group, be demonstrating for segregation. Thank you.
So I'm 8 years old, I get the gas, it comes up to like 18 cents, but it's 7 cents that I need to get. So I go, you know, into the actual place. But I wanted to bring the gas in because I didn't want nobody to steal it. And when I brought it in, the older, you know, white man was, damn it, nigger, why'd you bring the gas in the thing, you nigger? And I was like, hey, man, I'm 8. I remember saying, I'm 8, right?
From a young age, Foxx had grown sick of the small-town casual racism and began to see music as his way out. Foxx has often cited his grandmother as his motivation for success. From a young age, Estelle encouraged Jamie to play the piano. He found early success, becoming the musical director for his church at 15 years old and performing at country clubs around Texas. However, despite Foxx's talent, racism was still prevalent. In spite of the racism Foxx faced, he still tasted success. And it wasn't just musically either, as he shot to local stardom when he broke the all-time passing record for his high school football team, the Terrell Tigers. After high school, Jamie won a classical piano scholarship to the United States International University in San Diego, his way out from the segregated community in Terrell, Texas.
They hated me in college because I didn't like anything that they did in college. My college was an international school. That was the best part of it. It was 81 different countries that went to the school. The music theater program is something I had never been in, but I learned some things there. But I was like the guy that, I was a musician, so I was always playing the piano and writing songs. It was kind of like doing my own thing, I ended up going to Santa Monica Improv, evening at the Improv back in that day, and I noticed that it'd be 100 dudes that would show up, right? But only a few girls. So I wrote on the list, because you have to write on the list, I wrote unisex names: Tracy Brown, Stacy Green, Jamie Foxx.
Foxx found early success in his stand-up career, and it wasn't long before he was casted for a comedy sketch show in Living Color. Foxx worked on In Living Color up until 1994 as the charismatic character Wanda.
Tell us about yourself.
Oh, okay.
It was on In Living Color that Foxx started working with comedic legends such as Jim Carrey.
What do you think makes Jim Carrey so funny?
The fact that he's smart and the fact that he stays up a little bit longer than everybody else to go the whole night. A lot of people don't understand, it's like when you're doing comedy, anybody can be funny, but the material, what you put behind it, is what actually takes him to the next level. I've watched Jim Carrey for like a couple of years. He goes in, when he writes a sketch, he doesn't come out until he's finished. The same way with his movie, when he was writing this movie, he would come in, he'd stay in a couple of days, he has the same clothes on for like, 2 or 3 days. And that's what makes him, have an edge over everybody else, because of the fact he writes his own stuff and he makes it work for him. What he does is he takes everything on his back. Like the whole movie rests on him and he makes the whole movie work. Oh yeah, and if I hear another comment about, oh, he's just a white guy from In Living Color, that's like slighting him big time. I heard somebody say, hey, Jim Carrey, the white guy from In Living Color, it has nothing to do with that. In his mind, he has things like planned that you wouldn't believe, and he never bastards the craft, you know what I'm saying? He goes 100% comedy, so I think he deserves everything that he gets. In Living Color was a great testing ground because Keenan Ivory Wayans was probably tougher than anybody that I've ever worked with as far as producers or writers or anything, because imagine walking in Living Color and being the 9th funniest person in the room. When you had Keenan, you had Damon, you had Jim Carrey. So for me, it was a watching and learning.
After the success of In Living Color, Foxx's career took off. Foxx soon took on roles acting alongside Samuel L. Jackson in the 1996 film The Great White Hype and the 1988 film The Players Club, directed by Ice Cube. As the success continued to roll in, Foxx was offered his own TV show. The successful Jamie Foxx show ran from 1996 to 2001. However, as Foxx's career took off, his personal life took a hit.
My father was put in jail for $25 worth of illegal substance. They put him in jail for 7 years. You see, he taught 25 years in the hood. The very kids that he would have the judge come and tell them what not to do, that very judge presided on his case, put him in jail with the very kids that he taught. But they didn't understand that that father taught a young black kid in Texas how to swim, taught me how to play tennis. I said, why I'm playing tennis? He said, because I don't want you to be limited. I want you to be able to go across the tracks and do whatever you want to do.
Despite problems in his personal life, Foxx was given the chance to prove himself as a serious actor when he was casted in the 1999 Oliver Stone film, Any Given Sunday. But Foxx still had a lot to learn about acting for film. When an infamous battle of the egos took place on set.
Yeah. How physically challenging was it doing this film?
Look at me. It felt good. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was physically challenging. And I gained 20 or 30 pounds to get ready for the role. And it was a great experience. I had a good time.
Jamie, tell us about how difficult this was physically to do.
Oh, gained about 15 pounds. I was about 190. Was benching about 325. It was trying, but it was good. I got in shape. You know, now I got to keep it because it'll be embarrassing if they see the movie and then see me and I'm out of shape.
Despite all the setbacks, Any Given Sunday was a success. And went on to make over $100 million at the box office. And the momentum didn't stop there. By the early 2000s, Foxx was an established TV actor/musician, rubbing elbows with some of the biggest names in the industry. However, Foxx still had a lot to prove as a serious drama actor. When he put everything on the line in the 2004 film Ray, Foxx was once again given the opportunity to exploit his talents, only this time, musical. Working alongside Ray Charles himself, Foxx brought the character to life.
What an amazing man in Ray Charles. I mean, if you think about his story, I always say this, I was a supporting actor in the film. He was really the leading actor because his life was so incredible. I mean, for this man to do what he did in the 30s and the 40s, a black man coming from the South, come through and have his music embraced by everybody in the world, to have such a rich soul and to have such an interesting life, it's just a beautiful thing to be able to tell it and to have people embrace it.
When you're taking on a role like that, do you find yourself very self-critical and saying, you know, am I doing justice to it?
But once you get into it, then it's having the faith of the spirit of Ray Charles and Taylor Hackett to guide you. You know, so once we got into a groove, we knew we could do some things, but you have to eliminate all fears and all those things long before you say action and cut. Well, I will tell you this. I said earlier at the Golden Globes that I was the supporting actor and Ray Charles was really the leading actor. A lot of the Academy members that came up to me when I was at the nomination lunches and out, you know, at the different functions would say, that was my era. That was my music, and thank you for bringing that back. Thank you for giving Ray Charles another life. He will go down in history now. Thank you for the change, a little bit of culture, because Ray Charles now is being played in the Escalades as you drive by, you know, on the street. You're thinking, oh, they must be playing what kind of play? And you hear, I got a want. Young kids are getting into it, and it's great because my daughter and all of her friends, you know, they're getting into this music, and it's great to see that type of music being celebrated. I was at my house, I'll tell you the story. I was at my house the other night, and there were people in my house from 18 all the way up to 50, and we put on the Ray Charles CD and we danced to all of those songs, and nobody even tripped at, oh, it's you know, it's not any rap lyrics, it's not any, you know, any foul things going on. It was beautiful.
The risk paid off when Ray received critic acclaim.
And the Oscar goes to Jamie Foxx and Ray.
Oh my goodness.
And then 241 will be next.
B15.
Congratulations, Jamie.
My man.
Indeed, sir. Listen, you brought your daughter.
Yes, I did.
What would you like her to take away from this experience as a life lesson?
You know what's amazing about this is that she's 11 years old and she said, Dad, okay, after this, can we go to the big awards, which is the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award. And being a 10 and 11-year-old, she just turned 11, you will expect that. Now, she may not know everything, she may not know the significance of everything that's going on tonight, but years from now, she'll be talking to her friend and said, me and my dad one night had a great time. Probably gonna be the toughest part of this speech. My daughter shares my grandmother's name, Marie. My grandmother's name is Estelle Marie Talley. And she's not here tonight, and this is gonna be the toughest part, but she was my first acting teacher. She told me, stand up straight, put your shoulders back, act like you got some sense.
On the 9th of October, 2004, Estelle Marie Talley, Jamie Foxx's grandmother and maternal figure, passed away at the age of 95. This was a big blow for Foxx, as she had always supported his career, often citing her as his motivation.
Hey, Jamie, right to your right.
Yes, hey, man, what's that? Hey, man, thank you.
Good for you.
It's crazy.
What did Charlize Theron whisper in your ear?
She said, can we get together and talk about Oscars? No, but actually, to be honest with you, when you see people like Charlize, when you see people like Halle Berry, immediately the first thing you think of is how beautiful they are, but you really do connect on a different level when we're talking about art. That's the greatest thing about this, is that they've shared the same, feelings. So they were basically giving you an insight on what was going to happen. Halle was tapping me on my shoulders before, like, you ready? Are you ready for this? So it's great to just to be in that league. It's beautiful.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
For months, you've been touted as the front runner.
Yeah.
Sure thing.
Yeah.
Did you prepare yourself for the possibility that there might be an upset?
Yes, of course. But you got what I've always said, it's not a competition. It is a celebration of everybody's art. And it's really not that. When we started off with Taylor Hackford in this movie a couple of years back, we simply wanted to do the best we could for a movie. Once it's out there, you have no control over voting. You have no control over any of that. All you can do is show your best hand and wait and see what the results are. I'm happy that the results are this, though.
After the success of Ray, Foxx's career skyrocketed, allowing him to go back to his first love, music.
You've been pioneering your way into the music industry. How is that going?
It's going great. We got the #1 record in the country for the past 3 or 4 weeks. We're almost at 2 million in just a few days, and so we're happy that the music is being accepted, and it's credible.
What is it about performing music that you like?
I just think that it's something that I've always wanted to do, and to see it come full circle when I thought I wasn't going to be able to do it, and to be able to do it now is great.
And who are some artists that you really respect?
Oh man, you got to look at Stevie Wonder. You got to look at a lot of my things come from church, like commissioned and the whinings and things like that. So I always loved that. There's nothing like church music. I'm actually doing a story about where the church music comes from.
Jamie Foxx was now an Academy Award-winning actor and a Grammy-winning musician. No longer was he the country club pianist having racial slurs flung at him. Foxx was now working alongside some of the biggest names in music: Twista, P. Diddy, T-Pain, Ludacris, Drake, and most notably, Kanye West.
Life-changing musical moment was meeting Kanye West. He came to a house party.
baby Louis Vuitton under her underarm. She said, I can tell you rock, I can tell by your charm. Girls, you got a fly.
And nobody knew who he was. He had a backpack, jaw was a little out. He said, he rapped for me. I said, ooh, this dude is incredible. Who is this dude? I said, it's Kanye West. We went back in my back room where I had my studio, and we did a song called Slow Jams, which went to #1.
Now and then I call your name, and suddenly your face appears. But it's just a crazy game.
Fox's career truly was.
Unpredictable.
I like it too, baby. Let me put a little bit of excitement up in your lifestyle. You gotta know that times are the essence. I'm talking right now. I can get rid of that.
To many people's surprise, Fox had even started collaborating with an old friend. Fox's success didn't stop at music. He was now a globally recognized, serious dramatic actor, working alongside some of the biggest names in film: Tom Cruise, Jada Pinkett Smith, Eddie Murphy, and Halle Berry. However, this was all overshadowed when Jamie auditioned for the Quentin Tarantino film, Django Unchained.
Quentin, he looked at me and he says, you gotta be a slave. And I went, what is that about? And as I looked at my Louis bag and I looked at my Range Rover key, and he says, if you don't leave that outside, we're never gonna be able to tell a story.
Congratulations on the movie. Why did you want to make a movie with slavery as a theme? Did that just come with making a Western in that period?
I've always wanted to explore slavery, but I guess the reason that actually made me put pen to paper was to give Black American males a Western hero, give them a cool folkloric hero that could actually be empowering and actually pay back blood for blood.
And that's the revenge bit. I mean, is that essential to making him a hero?
Well, in this, in the case of laying waste to a genocidal white racist class in the institution of slavery, yes, that would be the reason to do it, as opposed to just a historical story where this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens and that happens.
The star-studded cast of Christoph Waltz, Samuel L. Jackson, Kerry Washington, Leonardo DiCaprio, and many more was to a magnitude Fox had never experienced before.
What was it like working with Quentin?
Oh man, I can't explain you. Quentin, Leonardo, Samuel Jackson, it was just amazing. It's just so humble. Kerry Washington, just so humble about the whole situation. My friends was like, man, you working with Quentin Tarantino? What is the discussion? And you know, like I said, I use this, but the hustle mentality of an actor, you cannot pass that up. Regardless, whether you hit, miss, or good, bad, and ugly, you have to work with Tarantino because it's going to be something different. With directors like that, with the Michael Manns or the Oliver Stones, you never turn those opportunities down because you're going to learn from it. And so when I knew what he was tackling, and I said, listen, I know what you need in this film. Whoever you pick is going to be fantastic. If you pick Idris or if you pick Will Smith, they're going to be fantastic. But if you do decide to go with me, I feel like not only can I be the actor, but be your soundboard. Kerry Washington is going to give you good counsel as far as some of the territories that you don't know about black folks. We'll be able to say, okay, yeah, that's one thing, but here's how I think we'll respond to it. And to see him be smart enough to take those things and shape it without disconnecting his art. You know, it was just amazing. So it was a good time.
Tons of great people on the cast. Who was like the biggest badass on the cast? Because with Sam Jackson there, I mean, come on.
Of course. Sam was just like, I mean, he commanded if you had to do a scene with him the night before, you didn't get any sleep because he was not playing around. Yeah, a little Texas.
Just talk to me about that.
But the fact that I have my own horse, and I spun guns as a kid and watched Bananas as a kid, and we watched Hee Haw as a kid. So all of these country things came into play. So when he was talking about scenes, he didn't have to worry about if I can get on the horse and ride, and have to worry about if I could spin the guns. And he just, we were ready to shoot.
When the film touted to be a hit, not everyone was as enthusiastic amid release.
I remember reading a quote from Jamie Foxx where he called you an angry black man.
Who?
Jamie Foxx. And people have always spoken about your films having a lot of anger, and it's like, oh, he just needs to sort of calm down now. He's just full of so much anger. And then you get to a film like this, and suddenly everyone's now looking back at your films and thinking, actually, what you were saying was making a lot of sense.
People are late. But I will say this. I don't walk around a constant fit of anger. And also, if you just take Do the Right Thing, Malcolm X, and now Black Klansman, I mean, those, I've been making my 4th decade of film. Those are only 4 films. So I've been doing other stuff. I have other interests. But I'm angry.
So you can't be surprised by the controversy that's come along with it?
Well, you can't. I don't think you can actually make a movie about slavery in America that it's not going to be controversial.
Are you very disappointed by some of the reactions, Spike Lee especially?
Oh, I couldn't be happier with the reaction to this movie. It's been fantastic.
It's good publicity, I suppose. But
Well,
I mean,
no. It's creating a nice debate. Even the people who don't like the film, all right, are actually, I am responsible for people talking about slavery in America in a way that they have not in 30 years.
Sure.
You talked about the meeting with Sidney Poitier, and
Yes.
you said that he said, I give you responsibility.
Yes.
And you said you were taking that
Yes,
responsibility.
of course.
What did you mean?
Well, responsibility as far as art is concerned, because he had seen my speeches and he was like, I've listened to your talk. I know what you're saying, but I'm giving you responsibility for your art. And that was the main thing that he said, be responsible for your work. Now, I can cheat. I'm a stand-up comedian. So that means that if we do not have the movie that we think is going to be a responsible movie, I will go on the road and I will see you somewhere in Poughkeepsie, Detroit, whatever like that, doing stand-up until we find the right piece.
You know, what you're saying is not correct. It's not tracked by more people.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying, but are you concerned? I mean,
No, I'm not talking about the movie right now. You're talking about, I'm talking about there is actually a dialogue going on about slavery right now that has not been happening at all.
Let me ask you about violence. I mean, you said, everyone knows you make violent movies, you like violent movies. Mm-hmm. Why do you like making violent movies?
I don't know, it's like asking Judd Apatow, why do you like making comedies?
You just get a kick out of it, or you just enjoy it?
I consider it good cinema. You sit there in a movie theater when these cathartic violent scenes happen. I'm talking about the cathartic violent scenes. I'm not talking about, there's 2 types of violence in this movie. There's the brutality of the violence in the day. There's brutality to the slaves. That hasn't been dealt with in America to the extent that I deal with it. And I'm showing you that there was 2 Holocausts in America. This is one of them. We've dealt with the Indian Holocaust, the Holocaust of the American Indian in America. But we haven't been dealing with the Holocaustic aspects, the Auschwitzian aspects of the slave trade in America. My movie deals with that. Then there's the cathartic violence of Django paying back blood for blood.
Is that why you think people like watching violent movies? People who are not violent people? Or twisted people in any way, but why it's okay to go into a movie and enjoy the violence?
Yeah, well, it's a movie. It's a fantasy. It's a fantasy. It's not real life. It's a fantasy. You go and you watch a kung fu movie, and one guy takes on 100 people in a restaurant. That's fun.
But why are you so sure that there's no link between enjoying movie violence and enjoying real violence?
I'm going to tell you why I'm so sure. Don't ask me a question like that. I'm not biting. I refuse your question.
Why?
Because I refuse your question. I'm not your slave and you're not my master. You can't make me dance to your tune. I'm not a monkey.
I can't make you answer anything. I'm asking you interesting questions.
And I'm saying I refuse.
Okay. Well, no, I was just asking you why. That's fine. But you see, Jamie Foxx has said we can't turn our back and say that violence in films.
Well,
or
then you should
anything
talk to
that we
Jamie Foxx.
do doesn't have a
then you
source of
should talk to Jamie Foxx about that. And I think he's actually here, so you can.
I'd love to, but I mean, you know, it's interesting that you have a different view, and I'm just trying to explore that.
Yeah, and I don't want to. Because I'm here to sell my movie. This is a commercial for the movie. Make no mistake.
Well, you have interviews.
Yeah.
So you don't want to talk about anything serious?
I don't want to talk about what you want to talk about. I don't want to talk about the implications of violence. I haven't wanted. Because the reason I don't want to talk about it is because I've said everything I have to say about it. If anyone cares what I have to say about it, they can Google me and they can look for 20 years what I have to say about it. I haven't changed my opinion one iota.
No, but you haven't fleshed it out. That's the only reason.
It's not my job to flesh it out.
No, it's my job to try and ask you to.
And I'm shutting your butt down.
And that's entirely your
This is a commercial from my movie.
No, I know, but it's my job to try and explore some serious themes as well. I'm sure.
I invite you to explore some serious things, but not things that I have already been on the record for talking about.
Well, violence is such a big part of all of your movies, and it's an enjoyable part of your movies for so many people, and that's why I'm talking about this, because you know it's a very sensitive time at the moment. I mean, the Vice President is talking to people in the movie industry today about violence in response to
And you know where I stand on it.
Which is that there's no relationship. And
yes.
But you haven't said why you think there's no relationship.
It's none of your damn business what I think about that.
Well, it's my job to ask you why you think that, because you're very influential.
No.
Mr. Fox,
Yeah.
Mr. Fox,
Yes.
Gracia at UPN, congratulations.
Yes, thank you so much.
On stage you said, let's live the African American dream. Can you tell us what that dream is?
I was speaking to my managers, Jamie and Marcus King. In this business, sometimes you get pulled from different ways, and sometimes people will say, you know, your managers, I don't know, you know, you could probably go a little further with somebody else, and they would even say maybe if somebody of a different color. That's been said, and I said, listen, no matter what it is, we'll stick to it, we'll stay together, because 17 years, they become my family. So when I say American dream, I drop that in there on them just for them at that time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Race has always played a big role in Jamie's life, using his platform to raise awareness of racial injustices.
Imagine, that's not black, that's not white, that's not Jewish, that's not Republican, that's not Democratic, that's just simple, that's American, that's the American way. Let this man have his day in court. And then we'll talk about all the other things after that. But during the show of the Image Awards, Harry Belafonte got up and he spoke so eloquently. And he said, look at all you young black guys and young black girls with all this money and all this talent and all these, the star, your star is shining, and you sit here mute and you don't say anything. And I was gonna get up and talk about me and talk about how great I was and all these different things, and I just felt embarrassed. And I told Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier, I told Sabrina, I said, this is my time and this is our time as young black folk to stand up and not wait until I fell off.
To your right, Jamie. Over here, Jamie.
Yes.
Hello. Congratulations.
Thank you.
With you winning tonight and Morgan Freeman
Yes.
winning tonight, you guys have actually made history.
Yes.
It's the first time black people, men, have...
Black people, men, African American, Afro American, homeboys, homies.
all of that have won both
Yes.
categories.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
My thoughts on it is this: there was a young man by the name of Larry Elder who said, "Why must Jamie Foxx say black? Why must he say black? Why? What's the significance in black? I mean, why does he have to say black? We know he's black. I mean, why is he saying that? Why is he always saying that?" And the significance is this: for the young kids out there in our community, and I'm just specifically talking to you, it's so many negative things that we're influenced by. Think about music. I was at Quincy Jones's house and Patty Austin and James Ingram's song, "How do you keep the music playing?" Back in the day, that was like, man, that's how I talked to my girl. I would call up and take the phone and put it up to the speakers and say, this is what I'm trying to say to you. So in our music, in our everyday life, in our community, so many negative things. Why not have something positive and then stamp it with blackness, because when I was watching Halle Berry, when I was watching Denzel Washington, it gave me that inspiration to say, hey, I could do my thing too. So it's important, and it's not to say that we're excluding everybody, and this is a black thing and we're taking over. We just want to be included into the pot and make everything artistically better.
When you say something about a race, or you say something about someone with disability, maybe you was running for office or whatever it was, on both sides, whatever it was, it would be great to see you take that power that you have now, all of them, and walk out, be hand in hand and say, hey, America is too good to let it be torn apart by our own words.
Foxx took this activism to the next level when he took on the role of Walter McMillan in Destin Daniel Cretton's 2019 film, Just Mercy.
If you're not moved and motivated to do something, to be a part of the solution, to be a part of the change, I think you have a problem. I couldn't read. When you know better, you got to do better, right? I know better. I'm trying to do better, and I think that's pretty much it.
This story is so important because it shows you what a black man goes through. You know, to be riding down the street, minding his own business, somebody take you out of your car and say that you killed somebody in a city that you've never been in, you never met, and it's so a matter of fact. And even those people that did that remained in power, you know, after the case was overturned. That's why I applaud Michael B. Jordan for bringing us this movie, bringing us Bryan Stevenson, watching the movie now with people. When I watch this movie in the theater and people are clapping and cheering and crying, and but they're leaving with a sense of hope. And so it really means a lot. It's like I say, it's the most important movie I've ever done because of what it's doing. And now lawyers are calling Bryan Stevenson. We want to come work pro bono and, you know, help the situation. So kudos all around.
The film went on to win multiple awards, including a Spotlight Award for Foxx's acting at the Palm Springs International Film Festival.
Palm Springs, thank you. Thank you.
However, this film meant more than just awards for Foxx.
When my father watched this movie, my father was put in jail for $25 worth of illegal substance for 7 years. This man educated people in the hood. He taught me how to play tennis. I said, why I'm playing tennis? He said, because I don't want you to be limited. I want you to be able to go across the tracks and do whatever you want to do. I don't visit people in jail. I'm not cool with that because I don't like that perception. Sometimes we get so used to it that we even rap about it. I didn't visit my father, but I wrote him one letter. And I said, when you get out, I made good. I'm doing well now. I'm on. I'll save your life.
Despite his meteoric rise to stardom, Foxx has always made sure to put family first.
He's amazing, he's gifted, he inspires me, and he does a whole lot of work, and I'm really happy that he's my brother.
He has always had a close bond with his daughters from a young age. Having a father is something Jamie made sure his children were never deprived of, unlike his own experience as a young boy.
So you just have to be there, like, you know, from 0 to 8, 8 to 15, 15 to 19, and then further, they'll go through so many things. So you just have to constantly be there and constantly shape and constantly give advice.
You know what's amazing about this is that she's 11 years old and she said, Dad, okay, after this, can we go to the big awards, which is the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Award. And being a 10 and 11-year-old, she just turned 11, you will expect that. Now, she may not know everything, she may not know the significance of everything that's going on tonight, but years from now, she'll be talking to her friend and said, me and my dad one night had a great time.
I was lucky. My oldest daughter, coolest fan. Now my youngest daughter challenges you a little more. So there's a little more guidance. When my father got out, the good part about that is that I was on and he loved tennis. So I took him to the US Open and we got a chance to watch Venus play. Tears rolling down our cheeks. It was a moment that you can't imagine. And because of him teaching me not to have limits, here I am in this room with all of you.
Jamie Foxx, a once-in-a-generation talent. Eric Marlon Bishop, a small-town Texan dad.
her underarm. She said, I can tell you rock, I can tell by your charm. Girls, you got a flock, I can tell by your charm in your arm. I'm looking for the one. Hey,